The ring buzzer at Marren's gym cracked a slow 3, rain striking the tall windows, a fluorescent humming flat. Danny Oare stepped into the locker room dim. The door swung shut. A gloved hand closed on his throat. A teenage boxer screamed the gym cold, and Nox was already moving. Nox reached the locker room first. Danny lay across the wooden bench, head tipped back, ligature bruising across his throat. The teenage boxer stood frozen in the doorway, a white towel bunched in her hands. 4 minutes later, Leen arrived in navy blazer, tablet flashing, and taped off the hallway. Statements from the front lounge went into the tablet before the medic bag zipped. Cold blue fluorescence of the PD morgue. Doctor. Iona Hay lowered her glasses a half-inch and pulled the drawer. Strangulation, bilateral carotid, no defensive wounds. Time of death narrowed between 8:14 and 8:19. She delivered flat. When Leen asked which end was likelier, Hale answered that speculation was his job. Nox stood at the drawer's foot and counted minutes he had not yet been given. Suspect, Perry Marren. Stated alibi. At the back office desk reviewing fight ledgers 8:10 to 8:25. Sighted through the angled glass at 8:17. Inferred opportunity. 90-second walk from desk to locker room at 8:18. Front lounge. Fog beyond the tall windows. Nox walked Leen along the angled safety glass partition that divided the training floor from the back office corridor. Ring lights hung in bronze shades. At certain angles the pane caught them, and threw the front floor geometry toward the back hallway. The back office sat at the corridor's end under a single fluorescent tube humming on its conduit. Marren's back office, cluttered steel desk. Perry Marren folded his hands, broken nose fighter's face set steady. Ledgers from 8:10 to 8:25, he said. Every Wednesday the same? The cleaner sees him through the glass every week. Nox repeated the last 3 words flat. The cleaner sees him. Marren answered that he kept the same chair every Wednesday night. Front lounge, mop bucket beside the bench. El Navas twisted a cleaning rag, iron gray braid heavy across her shoulder. She mopped from 8:10 to 8:20, she said. At 8:17, the round buzzer cracked from the ring and she glanced up. Through the angled laminated glass partition, she saw Perry at the back office desk. Silver hair catching fluorescent. Same posture as every Wednesday. She was certain. Suspect El Navas. Stated alibi. Mopping the front lounge 8:10 to 8:20. Eye contact sighting of Marren through the angled glass at 8:17. Inferred opportunity. 40-second gap behind the counter at 8:15. Front ring, gloves resting on the ropes. Hollis Gage leaned against the corner post, tape bright across his knuckles. 3 witnesses and the buzzer log put him sparring the main ring from 8:05 through 8:20. Danny had been in line for his title spot, he said, and he had made his peace with it. The robe hung black over his shoulder. At the front desk tablet, Leen pulled up the ring buzzer log. Round bells at 8:05, 8:08, 8:11, 8:14, 8:17, 8:20, each tied to a logged round. Hollis was in every one. Nox asked him to unwrap the tape. Fresh knuckle bruising bloomed across both hands. Hollis shrugged. Every sparring night looked like that, he said, and the buzzer agreed. Office corridor. Mitra Pell held her weathered promoter notebook in her left hand, long black braid over a burnt orange blazer. She had met Marren from 8 o'clock to 8:15, left at 8:16. Her silver sedan pinged Ashvale traffic CCTV at Flats and Hawthorne at 8:19. Danny had threatened to audit her books the week before. Her notebook showed a small discrepancy near his last purse line. Suspect, Mitra Pell. Stated alibi. Conference with Marren, 8 o'clock to 8:15. Silver sedan logged at Flats and Hawthorne at 8:19. Inferred opportunity. 3-minute gap from 8:15 to 8:18 inside the gym. Nox walked the angled glass partition alone. A pair of ring lights pulsed off a sparring round, and the pane caught them. And for a breath, the reflection laid the front floor against the back hallway. So the two read continuous, one single field of vision. He turned his watch face out, then face in. What Elna swore she saw no longer read as one thing. He called Leen over. At the wall clock near the coach's bench, the minute hand read 8:23. Nox timed around to the next buzzer. The buzzer cracked when his own watch read 8:20. The wall clock ran 3 minutes fast. Down the back hallway, the lone fluorescent tube hung offset to the left of the desk, its cone of light demanding a shadow across the left shoulder of any figure seated there. Front lounge, 2 cups of black coffee cooling. Leen walked through what they had. A cleaner whose sighting was the keystone of Marren's alibi. A promoter with motive, and a traffic cam ping she could not have faked. A sparring partner logged at every buzzer. Nox tapped his left forefinger against his thumb in a slow 3 count. He was missing one thing. Leen held his gaze longer than procedure needed. The counter at 8:15, she said. She remembered bending for a dry mop head and straightening when the round bell cracked from the ring at 8:17. Through the angled glass, she had seen Perry at the back office desk, thick gray tracksuit, silver side-parted hair catching the fluorescent. She had thought it was the same Wednesday sight. She had gone back to her mopping. The fluorescent hums. Ring lights fold. Rain beats the glass. In Marren's back office, Nox and Leen pulled open the steel desk's lower right drawer. Under a stack of fight programs sat a second leather-bound ledger, cover scuffed, entries in a careful hand. Skimmed percentages ran against 3 of Danny Oare's last purses, each total underlined twice. The most recent entry carried last Wednesday's date. Leen photographed the page. Nox touched the spine once. Marren back under interview at his office desk. Nox set the skimmed ledger open between them, the Wednesday page face up. Marren said he had been reviewing fight ledgers here from 8:10 to 8:25. Nox asked which ledger. Marren named next month's card and an amount that did not appear anywhere on the open page. He looked at the page, then past it. The silence held. Back at the front lounge, Nox pinned the gym floor plan to a rolled corkboard Leen had dragged out. Around it he tacked the buzzer log printout, Elna's sworn statement with the 8:17 sighting circled in red, a hand-sketched shadow diagram with the fluorescent marked offset left, and a photograph of the angled glass with ring lights bleeding across the pane. 4 fragments, one shape not yet named. Minutes don't lie, people do. At the corkboard, Nox rotated the floor plan on its pin. He laid a transparency over it, the angled glass as a mirror plane. The front ring reflected across that plane into the back hallway coordinate, and a figure at the ring stood where a figure at the desk would stand. Elna's sighting shifted its anchor. She had not seen a man in the office. A timeline tape unspooled across the 8 o'clock to 8:30 window at Marren's gym. Mitra arrived at 8 o'clock for the promoter meeting and departed by sedan at 8:15. Elna began mopping at 8:10. Hollis sparred logged through 8:17 and 8:20. The Hale time of death window opened at 8:14, closed at 8:19. Elna's glass sighting at 8:17 read in red. The strangulation landed at 8:18. Nox walked back down the hallway, Leen at his shoulder. The fluorescent sat offset to the left of the desk. A figure seated there threw his shadow across the left shoulder, not the right. Elna swore the Marren she saw carried it on the right. Reflected in the angled glass, left becomes right. The figure she saw stood at the front ring, folded through the pane. Under the ring lights, Nox set it out. Hollis at the buzzer every round. Mitra's sedan 2 miles east at 8:19. Elna's glass sighting at 8:17. What she saw carried its shadow on the right. The hallway fluorescent throws its shadow left. Only a reflection inverts. The man she saw stood at the front ring in matching tracksuit, Perry Marren. Nox pulled a small round pocket mirror from his coat and offered it across the lounge table. He asked Marren to show where the shadow fell on a man seated at the desk with the hallway fluorescent offset to his left. Marren took the mirror and angled it. His hand stopped. The right shoulder caught light. The left fell into shadow. He set the mirror face down. Marren did not look up. Danny had found the side ledger 2 weeks back, he said, and told him he would walk it to the regional board at Friday's weigh-in. Marren had tried to talk him down in the locker room at 8:18, and had not meant for it to go past talking. His hands had known the grip longer than his head counted. Leen read Marren his rights at the front lounge table. Rain beat the tall windows. Nox stood at the angled glass, watch turned face in. A patrol cruiser's red light pulsed through the rain outside. Marren walked out, having told them in his own voice what he had done. Front lounge, just past midnight. The medic wheeled Danny past the tall windows. The angled glass caught the gurney one last time. Nox stood at the bench, a silver pocket mirror turning once in his left hand. The fluorescent hummed flat. Outside, the rain thinned to fog.